Unbelievable. WTA teams up with Coco Gauff to score a $68 billion deal with legendary automotive giant. The headline hit like a thunderbolt. At first glance, it looked unreal, one of those internet rumors too massive to be true. But as confirmations rolled in from industry insiders, financial analysts, and global sports executives, one truth became unavoidable. The WTA and Coco Gauff had just engineered the most jaw-dropping commercial deal in the history of women's sports, valued at a staggering $68 billion. Not million, not a record endorsement. Billion, with a B. And at the heart of it all stands a 21-year-old tennis superstar whose influence now stretches far beyond baseline battles and championship trophies. This is not just a sports story anymore. This is a global economic earthquake. How did this even happen? For decades, women's tennis fought for space in the global business arena. Equal pay, better sponsorship, stronger broadcast rights, deeper investor trust. Now, in one historic move, the WTA didn't just secure quality, it secured dominance. The deal connects the entire WTA Tour, a legendary global automotive giant, and Coco Gauff as the central commercial and cultural force. Together, they created a multi-decade strategic alliance spanning transportation, clean energy, smart mobility, stadium infrastructure, media technology, global branding, youth education, sustainability innovation. This isn't about selling cars. This is about owning the future of global sports ecosystems. Why Coco Gauff is the center of the storm. This deal could never have been built around just a champion. It needed someone who could move markets, generations, cultures, and entire industries. Coco Gauff is that rare figure. She is a Grand Slam champion before 22. A global youth icon, a fashion and cultural leader, a voice of social responsibility, a brand magnet across continents, a symbol of discipline, humility, and global possibility. Executives reportedly said, this deal only works if it's built around the most trusted young athlete on earth. Coco Gauff is that athlete. She doesn't just attract fans, she attracts belief. And belief is the most valuable currency in the modern economy. What the $68 billion actually represents. Let's be clear. Coco Gauff did not receive a $68 billion personal check. The $68 billion reflects the total projected economic value of the global partnership over multiple decades, including worldwide branding rights, green transportation infrastructure, tour-wide electric vehicle deployment, smart stadium logistics, AI-driven athlete performance systems, broadcast technology upgrades, youth sports and STEM education platforms, manufacturing and innovation investments, global event logistics conversion. In short, this deal isn't about profit alone. It's about transforming how global sports physically move, operate, and grow. The WTA's boldest move ever. This is the moment the WTA permanently changed its identity. No longer just a tennis tour. It now stands at the center of clean mobility innovation, global sustainability leadership, smart city sports logistics, youth technology education, next-generation broadcasting. For the first time in sports history, a women's league is driving infrastructure at a world industry level. And Coco Gauff is the living bridge between competition and commerce. Coco Gauff's personal power surge. Insiders estimate Coco's personal financial return from this historic structure could include $80 to $120 million annually in direct revenue streams, long-term ownership equity, lifetime global ambassador authority, media licensing power, governance influence inside global partnerships. At 21, she now possesses more business leverage than most retired legends, more brand control than major federations, more youth influence than any active athlete alive. She is no longer defined by endorsements. She defines the system itself. Why this deal is bigger than any athlete contract in history. Michael Jordan changed sneaker culture. LeBron James changed athlete empowerment. Serena Williams changed equality in tennis. But this deal changes something even larger. how global industries attach themselves to women's sports at the infrastructure level. This isn't about logos on shirts. This is about transportation systems, energy grids, digital stadiums, smart performance technology, citywide entertainment ecosystems. This puts women's tennis on the same economic chessboard as global aviation, energy conglomerates, telecommunications empires. That has never happened before. The shock waves were instant. Within hours of the reveal, global investors redirected sports tech funding. Competing leagues rushed emergency sponsor reviews. Media rights negotiations spiked. Youth sports programs saw sudden capital interest. Women's sport valuations across the world surged. The deal didn't just lift the WTA. It rewrote the financial gravity of women's sports worldwide. The quietest figure in the loudest storm. As markets erupted and analysts scrambled to explain the numbers, Coco Gauff stayed quiet. No wild celebrations. No luxury showcases. No victory laps. Only a simple private message leaked through insiders. I'm focused on my next match. That calm, in the middle of the $68 billion storm, is what terrifies opponents and fascinates executives the most. What this means for young girls worldwide. For the first time in history, the world's most powerful commercial athlete is a young woman, a product of public courts, a global youth symbol, a business force at infrastructure scale. Millions of girls now see a future that didn't exist before. Not just sponsorship, ownership, leadership, global authority. The emotional weight of the moment. This wasn't born in a boardroom alone. This deal traces back to early morning training sessions, parents who sacrificed everything, long travel days, public pressure, teenage scrutiny, quiet resilience. From neighborhood courts to a $68 billion global alliance. That is not just success. That is history folding in on itself. What happens next? Industry forecasts now predict this partnership will redesign global tennis logistics, build climate-neutral tournament transport, revolutionize athlete recovery technology, digitize stadium infrastructure worldwide, fund millions of youth scholarships, expand women's sports media rights permanently. This isn't a short-term headline. It's a 30-year economic blueprint. Why business schools will teach this moment. Future students will study. The Coco Gauff commercial doctrine. How women's sports crossed trillion-dollar ecosystems. How personal brand became global infrastructure. How youth influence reshaped capitalism. How trust overtook traditional advertising. This deal is not just historic. It is structural. Final word. Unbelievable. WTA teams up with Coco Gauff to score a $68 billion deal with legendary automotive giant. This isn't just a headline. It's the moment when women's sports stopped asking for opportunity. Youth power overtook old money systems, and one 21-year-old tennis player became the center of the largest commercial alliance ever built in women's athletics. Coco Gauff didn't just elevate the WTA. She repositioned women's sports at the center of the global economy. And the most thrilling part? She still hasn't reached her peak on the court. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.